tiny pearls of nature, inviting us to play and toss, colourful and solid, all shapes and sizes, bigger and bigger, the promise of a multitude. Stones, building blocks of foundations, firm and strong, the hope of greater things. Walls, majestic and silent, the overseer of all. Countless ages, countless centuries. Cashel walls, 700 wondrous years of morning mists and evening dews, of glorious endurance. Our pride, our hope, our past, our future, stone on stone.
I am standing in the queue, people waiting are many and true. The wall's arch looms over me. I step forward and the guard says, I am free. I think, why am I leaving Cashel, my hometown? Whenever the nobles look at me, they just frown. I need to go someplace where people appreciate me. Building a good life for my family is key. Over my shoulder, I take one last look at the wall as I hear the guards call, £5 to enter this place. And I turn around and pick up my case. Just outside the Cashel wall, if you ever wander at all, lies historical Hor Abbey, an old ruin not at all shabby. Places to see like Leahy Park or Pat Fox's pub after dark. King Cormac's men at full flight and people marching at darkness into light. Situated in Tipperary West, a tourist town at its best. Steeped in folklore and GAA, welcome to Cashel, you've come a long way.
You wattled walls, you've seen it all. The great success, the mighty fall. The fighting fields, the wasted blood. Ravaged land by storm and flood. Walls of hatred, walls of fear. Mankind frown and shed a tear. You stood firm through it all, battered, bruised, but did not fall. You welcomed change and all things new, and let God's sunshine filter through. To warm our hearts once more stand tall. You have served us well, O faithful wall. I love the Cashel pictures seated in the stall to smoke my precious woodbine across the famine wall. No thought for the man who chiselled the stone, his labour of love for a starving home. You bear the scars of this terrible time when thousands died while in their prime. They took our corn, we pleaded not, and left us by the road to rot. We judge no one or lay no blame. You stand a monument to a time of shame. God, how did it happen? Should they have been spared, a nation died. No one cared. Inside your gates and daunting piers, 1,000 dead, 1,000,000 tears. You guard the ground the Lord has blessed. That is my place of final rest. You enclose the peace and quiet there that heals the aching heart with prayer. Bygone days of distant dark, they rested by the walls of Mark. A cortege small, the church bell chime. Born poor was my only crime. But now I'm equal to the best. I've won my crown, I've passed the test. Each hurling field sends out the call, our national game of hurl and ball. You embrace the crowd, the mighty roar, the silken skill, the winning score. You stand silent behind the goal to see the spirit within their soul. The clashing ash, the torrid square, the sporting effort can e'er compare. To hold your parish deep in pride, the game survived, but many died. So guard our fields, your mighty wall, and protect the greatest game of all. The heart-shaped walls of Cashel town protect this place of high renown, to guard the mighty and the power, but ne'er forget the faded flower. The church and state, the marble floor, a stranger at the workhouse door. You welcomed him, no need to bow, his final home in Knocknagow. At night 5 gates are locked secure, our town is safe, our future sure. Through dark of night to break of day, you keep our town from harm's way. At the end of life there comes a call. We've almost reached the final wall. We climbed a life of stepping stone, and now at last we're safely home. A wall of love round heaven's shore, reward for effort, whate'er our chore. St. Peter stands to guard the gate, just pass through, no need to wait. In life you toiled and did your best. You deserved your place in this heavenly nest. My God of goodness created all. I'm glad I crossed the final wall.
The Cashel walls were mighty, they enclosed about a mile. Bishops lived above them and blessed their people with a smile. Cashel walls were mighty, they kept all raiders out. The people worked in safety, one even brewed some stout. Cashel walls were mighty, they held for many a year, till cannons blew holes through them, and townfolk felt real fear. Our Cashel walls are mighty, and once were all around. We took pride upon them, though some parts are underground.
The thick walls, the grey walls, the dirty walls surrounding our town, the old walls, the broken walls, the thin walls, the long walls, the short walls, the hard walls, the soft walls, the rusted walls, the beautiful symbols along the walls, the Cashel walls. We celebrate for 700 years.
These Cashel walls so pure and true, they are so old but beautiful too. The king looked upon the walls with pride, these are the best walls in all mankind. The walls last through all weather, wind, storm and rain. Though the walls were tough to build, they were never a pain. For the builders never gave up heart and made it all the way. As rainbows sparkled through the blue sky, the walls look sweeter than apple pie. These walls may be made of stone, but they are in an art of their own. These walls mean a lot to me as well as everybody. These walls have a lot of history, like the homes we live in now. There was everything inside the walls, pig, sheep and cow. We will take care of these walls for as long as we dwell. That was about the Cashel walls, and they are doing well.
Whisper now the wall is made. Whisper now the gap is closed. This wall has made a secret of us all. Talk softly about the other side. Watch them from your sheltered parapet. Keep them beyond your arrow's range. Hold them off with your streaming banner. Blind them with your sunlit helm. Allow them pass a moment of your choosing. Outsing them with the call of trumpets. Take from them their toil and taxes. And when the darkness comes, close your gates. Light your grinning braziers. Watch shadows home to wolves and foxes. Listen, can you hear their whispers? Listen, the wind brings songs of tumbled towers. Mock their hopes of hopeless breaches. Pray for another dawn and a silent circuit of this whispered wall. This wall has made a secret of us all.
It has 5 gates and it is a heart shape. Along the town wall, its towers stood tall. In medieval time, you could not attack it. Coffin lids were placed for a family called Hackett. Today I like to run and see the hidden Cashel walls peep out at me.
Back in 1319 was when the walls were first seen. 28 acres all round, the walls never made any sound. Traders came and paid through toll, selling apples, pears, and plenty of coal. A couple of towers around the town, all soon to fall down. The walls were protection against attack, the enemies never came back. The walls, they were very steep, so the people had to pay taxes for upkeep. Around the town were 5 gates, where inside the town of Cashel awaits. But now the town is safe and sound, the enemies are nowhere to be found.
Intricate laced christening robe filled the length of the cradle where she lay in that white dress, the colour of her eyes and face, still like the big doll I wanted that Christmas, my 3rd birthday. I couldn't stop staring. I wanted to pick her up, my little dolly sister. I remember my father walking up the road from our house to the Rock of Cashel. He carried a spade, and on his left shoulder a little white coffin with a gold cross. My mother was silent, crying frozen tears ascending the hill. Neighbours pulled me as I ran after Dad. What were they doing? Where were they going? I searched the hen house, the barn, the fields for my baby sister. In the walls, nestled in rock, baby sister's new cradle. Does she live there now in that white box with the gold cross? I asked. She is in heaven, Joan. The angels wanted her. 2 years later, my brother Michael joined my baby sister in the rock's crevice. Wanted by angels. I was bigger, just 5. I understood.
Tá an gléir thuairt sús imethe amach, ag muomh go bhfuil sá na lamh crúg fór. Béidir blunt dáilta béidir. Gan bailí gan éon casa, ní féidir le héon tuirí de havála níos. Dí cálan ifigigh cusithe, le capal taobh leis. Níos mór a cathamh ná an cos, báisteach sí sifrin. Sréimhin na sráideanna na darg, lucht le núna lastracha isteach sa spéir na híthe, ar carrig fádraigh Cashel, cathair na ríthe donna, Merca the no time.
I am a part of the town walls. This is how my life began. As a tiny rock into a wall to protect Cashel from them all. It was not a usual day. There were people running up and down the lane, carrying my friends in their hands and putting them on the horse's dray. One day the same thing happened to me. I was picked up and put with some others, you see. Soon afterwards I was not myself at all. I had become a proud part of the big, big wall.
Bindweed coils and creeps, threads itself between the briars and ivy, a footstool so it can see the houses nestle prettily at the foot of its host, the ancient city wall. The builders long since gone, leaving a giant echo, stone upon stone, of times past. Echoes of horses and their owners, weighed down with metal garments and swords, of long-skirted maidens carrying baskets and buckets of milk, going about the business of buying and selling their market produce. Smoke-scented straw roofs, streets alive with the sound of lively children, chasing dogs and playing catch. Young men, archers and hunters, carrying home the hunted, wild rabbits and trout swinging merrily from strings. Old women plucking chickens on wooden stools, and old men in doorways, watching the world go by, nodding, weathered, wizened faces, all knowing, all seeing, and all the while, up on the hill, kings and queens planned and schemed behind these castle walls.
Happy, happy birthday, Cashel. Your walls still standing strong. This year we celebrate your walls still surviving Cashel for so long. By these walls our ancestors stood. By these walls they spent their childhood. These walls were built to last when first made back in the past. So let us wish them a very happy birthday, for Cashel walls are very old. If they could speak, imagine all the wonderful stories that could be told. So now let us gather round to celebrate the 700 year of walls.
Walls built to protect the people of town, welcoming tourists who may touch down. Thatched roof on homes so small, concrete buildings built so tall. Farmers at the market meet, shops on restaurants on every street. The stink of dirt and dung all around, the scent of flowers planted by tidy towns. The sound of horses trotting down the way, the hum of engines and horns all day. 700 years has changed many things, but we are proud of Cashel of the Kings.
For 700 years the walls have stood tall through so many changes, spring, summer and falls. They protected from attack the beauty within and kept on the outside the poor native kin. 5 gates to native lands built and sustained with taxes and monies from Cashel folk paid. They stand as a memoir to a different time when the walls divided your folk and mine. 700 years standing tall and upright, the moonlight cast shadows beneath their great might. Where sweethearts shared kisses, they're out of sight. The walls are a symbol of love and of life. I walk alone now along by a wall and listen and wait for your loving call. My heart it shines brightly, though you're far away. From beautiful Cashel I wait for the day when we walk together as free people do, and our loves ignited as though it were new. I dream of that day as they did before the walls divided the rich from the poor. And what remains now is plain to be seen, offering protection to birds and to bees. But there's no protection the walls can provide from pollution and poison, so let's stem the tide. Our children, our future, it's in our hands. So let's live the dream in our townland, with the rock and its abbey, and there standing tall, in the middle of Cashel, the proud circling walls.
Builders build in blocks of stone, the wall has started. Red, brown, grey and white, hammers banging, horses trotting, rich people yelling, birds chirping, wind blowing and leaves falling, the chipping of rocks, animals on the streets, dust and sweat, exhausted, excited, happy, proud, the walled town of Cashel complete.
In the heart of Tipperary, there are none so proud as the people of Cashel when they approach their town. For what looms in the distance gives the eyes a treat, with its large stone walls, the kings of Munster's seat. Standing majestically tall on lush green fields, 1,000 years and still she yields. Her gold grey walls stand tall and steep, while her large round tower points to a heavenly keep. Alas, no more a stately home, her dominance of a time all but gone. But still her shell, it still remains. Its only defence now is against the winds. All quiet now, just a subtle chill, as a lonely graveyard lies within. Nostalgic visits are all that's left, where my great-grandparents lie in eternal rest.
It is true, the town is old, but stone by stone, another lifetime unfolds. A life of memories an old man has, but he rarely looks back at the past. Crowds they filled, the market square, set hand and eyes upon his wares. Pots and bowls he crafted with care, thought the many that gathered there. Under the rock of Cashel's view, the old man reflected on his life anew.
I started off by gathering stones. It took a lot of muscle and bones. I tried to make them fit together so that they could withstand the weather. I made a grand start. I thought I was the part. I was not in a hurry, so I did not have to worry. It took a while, but it made me smile. I saw people walk past in awe and heard them say, "There isn't a flaw." Everyone in town stopped and stared. They knew it was me whose walls were there. The walls of Cashel, so strong and tall, standing today, never to fall.
Mortar slapped and smoothed, storied stones laid one by one, slowly rose to make a town on land already old. Wallflowers lodged in cracks of history, blue stone faded grey. The town grew up, grew out, grew old, yet held you at its beating heart. Tumbled, fallen, crumbling, lost in sheds and hidden spaces, but moulded into Cashel's core, you ring the town, you ring it still.